Welcome to this rs600 class training video. Launching is relatively straightforward on a quiet day like this, but on a windy day it can get tricky. Having the Cunningham completely loose depowers the sail, but you will need to pull it on just before launching if it's windy. Bear the boat away from the wind and then pop down the rudder to a half down position before you get into the boat. Hop over the transom. It's always best to have the dagger board in position before you get in. Once in deep water, pull the rudder right down. If it's windy again, the sail should be fairly flat, so the outhaul should be quite a way out. Cunningham on and about half kicker. The so-called safe tack doesn't have to be slow. Coming off the wire onto the rack, make yourself comfortable. Once the boat's settled, tack in the same way as you would in a laser. Main thing is keep your weight forward and try and keep the boat flatter than this as you come out of the tack. You can tack facing forwards or rearwards. Here Ian demonstrates how to do it facing the stern. Pass the sheet to the tiller hand and then lift yourself up with the forward hand. Flick your hips to release the hook from the trapeze harness. Swap your tiller hand as you come in. Some roll works, but try and keep the rack out of the water. The sheet's been passed to the tiller hand again to allow the front hand to hook on. This is the more standard tacking method facing forward. It does have the advantage that you can look over the bow and check that the bow has gone cleanly through the waves and you've got less chance of stalling the boat out. As you come in, make sure the sheet's behind the trapeze wire, otherwise it won't fly away when you release the trapeze. Note that there's very little steering at this stage, just enough to balance the boat. You can hesitate for a fraction of a second just at this stage, just to ensure that the boat's balanced and that you're not going to fall over. See how the main sheet's sheeted itself out just by the natural action of as you let the sheet in as you come inboard. Also note how the steering is still pretty well straight. As you go through the wind you will need a lot more steering. Also the tiller ends up behind you, laser style again. Get your weight forward on the new side as soon as possible and keep the boat flat or maybe even slightly heeled on top of you. This will get the boat bearing away. Watch one more time and note the boat staying flat right through the tack. That works best except for in light breeze where a little bit of roll can help. In moderate winds, just smoothly carve the boat through a jibe. When jibing reach to reach, make sure that you get your weight outboard quickly, otherwise this will happen. You can be just too relaxed. A nice long arc here with no real loss of speed. The roll also helps to allow you to flick the battens through as you pull the boat upright after the jibe. Here lots of steering and the boat nearly stops. As we have a large roach fully battened sail, it's quite hard to just hover on the line. If you're going to mill around like this, then you need to leave yourself plenty of room down to leeward. As Ian demonstrates here, you should hit the line at full speed. In fact, in a bigger fleet, if you don't do this, then you'll definitely get swamped and end up in the back row. Most of these boats aren't flat. You can actually get the boat to lift to windward if you have the boat heeling slightly on top of you, i.e. to windward.